name is Tomomi Gariano, a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to use my Tangle TikTik as a string to create 25 spaces on Opus tile. So Opus tile is a Zentangle official tile, which is rather big like this. So if you compare to, let's say, Bijou tile, you can see how big it is. And this is a regular size tile, so maybe 9 of these regular size tiles is about the size of Opus tile, and about 25 of these visual tiles is the size of Opus tile. So you can see this is rather a big paper, and I'm going to use this for Advent Tangle 2024, and I've done this for October 2022. I will show you what I did. So this is what I did for October 2022, and I used this tangle. You can see there's some Arabian stars and going in and out. So this is what I did for October 2024 and 2022, and we're gonna repeat this for Advent Tangle 2024, and this will create 25 spaces on Opus tile, and it's perfect for Advent Tangle because Advent Tangle starts in December 1st and ends on Christmas Eve, December 24th. So you have 24 tangles from Advent Tangle Challenge created by Hilde and Erica. And so having 25 spaces will give you one extra space for you to add perhaps a star or your favorite tangle, or maybe year 2024, whatever you may like to do. So this is great Opus tile, and as a preparation, I already added a pencil grid. And if you are using Opus tile, I will give you the measurement. This is the border is about 2 centimeters. So this is the border, and each square is about 4.5 by 4.5 centimeters. So if you're watching from the state, you may need to convert this into inches, but it's about a little less than 2 inches. This is about a little less than an inch. So you kind of have to figure out how big each square is. Here using inches as a measurement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square with a little bit of border, like this. So each square is about a size of Bijou tile. A little smaller than Bijou tile. So that gives you an idea of how big each square should be. So once you have pencil grid, this is going to this grid is going to help you draw a tangle TikTik, and it's a dot grid tangle. So you don't necessarily have to have grid. You can add a little dots to indicate where the grid is, but since this is a big paper, I thought it would be easier to have an actual grid. So this is the starting point, and everything I'm gonna do is very repetitive. And if you're using any other size paper, bigger, smaller, please figure out your dimensions. And so each corner or each intersection of vertical and horizontal lines, you're going to draw a little tiny square. So maybe about this big, and you're gonna do this on every single one, and you want to place this square squarely on the corner, so you can see like each little square, they're about the same size. It doesn't have to be exact, but aim for the square that's about the same size. Again, this is a pencil string. My intention is to use this as a string. That's why I'm doing this with pencil. And I mean, you can of course do this with pen to begin with, but I think it will give you more option later if you do this process with pencil. So bear with me. And I'm done with first row, and I'm gonna move on to the second row. So I'm simply repeating, drawing a square in about same size. And you can see I'm not going for perfection. Because you can still adjust the size and the shape of the square later when you put a pen lines over. So eventually we're going to go over these pencil lines, not the initial pencil grid, but square and any other line that I'm going to draw. And you see how my square was a little smaller, so I made it a little bigger. And you can see some inconsistency in my square, but that's okay. And if you are really particular, you can use a little stencil, or you can use a ruler to create these squares. But at this point, I'm not too worried about this. This is a tangle. This is a tangle called TikTik. So that's why I'm doing this with freehand. But later, when you go over with your pen, you may choose to use ruler to make it look really nice, to create 25 spaces for your 24 Advent Tangles. And like I said, I did use this 25 spaces for Inktober 2022. So Inktober is done in month of October. So October is 31 days, right? 31 days in October. So I only had 25 spaces for 31 tangles. So some spaces I added multiple tangles, and so this one, I did a little too small. And some space I did single tangle. So you can use this idea for any other monthly challenge or your daily tangle practice. It just gives you a nice space, nice small space, about the size of Bijou tile each day to add new tangle to. So now I have little squares on each corner, and then I'm going to add V shapes. And this is where you want to be careful. So I'll show you. So between these two small squares, you see, so you have two squares, in between these two squares, you're going to add about the middle. So you figure out where the middle of this line is. You're going to add, I guess let's start with upside down V shape. Yeah, let's start with upside down V shape. Maybe start with V shape. Which one is better? I don't know. What do you think? Well, maybe I'll do upside down V shape. It really doesn't matter, but this V shape, one thing I want you to keep in mind is this V shape is gonna fit in the height of these squares. So it's gonna be like this. So this can be V or upside down V. Either way is fine. And it's not too sharp, it's not too shallow. If I were to make this into a triangle, it's a nicely balanced triangle. And then once you have first V shape, if your first one was upside down V, your next one, so it's gonna be around here, the middle, and within this height, the next one is going to be upside down, like this. You get that? And the next one, same thing. I'm just repeating. About within this height, in the middle, I'm gonna have upside down V. So the next one is going to be, oops, maybe about this angle, V shape, and next one is going to be upside down V. So you have first set. So it's going kind of like a zigzag, right? And then going down to the next row, you're going to reverse. So this was upside down V. So it's gonna be reversed in mirror image. So it's gonna be V shape. So once you have this, you're going to alternate. So this one is going to be upside down, and this next one is going to be V shape, and then upside down V. And feel free to turn your tile. I try not to turn the tile so that I don't confuse you. So now I have second set, and I did alternate V, upside down V, upside down V. So you can see I'm alternating, or you can also see these V shapes are facing each other. So these are pointing out, these are pointing in, these are pointing out, pointing in, pointing out. So now moving down to next row, you can see now this was pointing, when you look at this square, this is pointing in. So this one also is going to be pointing inside. You see, facing each other, and facing each other or alternating. And you continue. So once you get the idea, this goes pretty fast. So first few rows, I went slowly explaining the logic, but now that I think you get it, you got it, I'm gonna go a little faster. So this one is facing each other, and this one is facing each other, pointing inside, alternating. So upside down, V, upside down, V, alternating, and a set of V shapes are facing each other, either pointing inside the square or pointing toward the outside of the square. So there's a few different ways to look at this shape. You know, you can focus on each row, or you can focus on each square, whatever makes sense to you. As long as you don't draw two V shapes going into same direction, like V and V, as long as you have V and upside down V alternating, you will be just fine. Okay, and now I'm going to go vertically. I did go horizontally now. So going vertically, if you focus on this square, you see how these arrow or these V shapes are pointing out, right? So this one also again is pointing out, and this one is pointing out. So this one is pointing left and right. So again, I'm going to alternate left and right, and left and right. So again, this one, when you look at this square, these are pointing toward inside. So this one is going to point inside, point inside, point left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So this one, when you look at this square, these are pointing out, aiming outside. So I'm gonna do the same. You see these are both pointing toward the outside. Now I have left, right, left, right, left, and right. And here, this one, these are pointing inside. So these ones also going to point inside. So right, left, right, left, right, and left. And as you can see, there's kind of another square or diamond shape started to emerge. So that's another way to figure out which direction you're going to draw this second set of V shape. So whichever way makes sense to you, but I want you to be able to see this kind of imaginary square. This is very important. So if I place this diagonally, perhaps it's easier for you to see this square. So some of the V shape I added, it's a little wonky. why I said that is I want this to be like look more or less square. So I'm gonna fix some of these lines. That's why I'm doing this with a pencil. And I could tell you at the beginning, but I think that would be kind of too much to keep track. So it's easier to just adjust an angle at the after you added all these V-shaped lines. Like this one, it's not quite in the middle, so I'm going to maybe adjust to about here, maybe. Yep. So you do a little bit of adjustment. You make a little bit of adjustment here and there as needed. You see how it's starting to look nicer. And remember what I said about the height of these V shapes? I'm still keeping these V shapes within the height and the width of each square. So I continue. This is a little too low, so I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. I'm gonna erase these unnecessary lines later. And perhaps you need to do a lot of adjustment, and perhaps you only have to do a little bit of adjustment depending on how you did these each V lines. And again, you're not going for perfection, so you don't have to worry too much, but it's just something that helps to make this shape look a little nicer and a little more organized. And I'm going to trace over these pencil lines once I'm done, and I'm going to erase all the unnecessary lines. So it's okay to have multiple lines at this point. So when I'm simply tangling this Tangle TikTik, I don't start with the grid. I don't go for like creating this like diamond shape, square shape. I just simply tangle and treat it as a dot grid tangle, or do freehand. Make it into whatever shape it becomes. But since I'm using this as on a big Opus tile and as a string, I'm paying lots of attention to different things. So once I have this, I'm going to connect the end. So there you have corner and two ends of V shapes, right? Corner and two ends. And I'm going to connect the end of this V-shaped line to the square. So if I extend the square, it goes like this, right? So end of the V shape to the square next to it. So the one next to it, so V shape end of the V to the square next to it. See that? End of the V to square next to it. End of the V to square next to it. That's the logic or rule. So ends of the V to squares next to it. This end to the square, this end to the square. I'm gonna do the horizontal lines first. So end of the V to square. So this is opportunity to sculpt your initial square too. So V to the square. I'm using this as an opportunity to sculpt my square. So instead of connecting corner to the end, I'm kind of going over the square a little bit to sculpt the square. So make sure you're not connecting corner to corner. You're connecting the end of the V line. So you have two ends in each V. So connecting end of the V to the square, end of the V to square. And I'm doing this with a little bit stronger pencil line than I probably would if I'm just doing it for myself. I'm making this a little stronger for recording purpose. So you can do this with much softer lines, because you're gonna erase these pencil lines eventually anyways. So if you do this too strong, it's gonna take a lot of effort to erase. So end of the V line to square, end of the V to square. Like this. And then you do this vertically too, but at this point it's probably easier for me to flip this so that I can repeat the same thing. So you see the end of the V to the square, end of the V to the square. See, I've been repeating exactly the same thing. Nothing has changed. V to square, end of the V to the square, end of the V to the square. See how I'm going? I may be going too fast for you, so if you're doing this with me, take your time, but remember you're connecting the two ends of the V to squares next to it, or the closest corner of the square. And if you see any V line that's too short, or you don't quite like the shape, you know, you can, as you connect them, you can sculpt the shape. And I'll, hold on a second, here it goes. This one I have extra line. So anyways, if you wanna add tangles, well, you're going to add tangles in each space, but if you're planning on keeping the tangle, each tangle within each space, you see, So this is one space, this is next space. If you're planning on keeping tangle contained within each space, you don't want to, well, I'm sorry, take it back. Okay, so if you are planning on keeping your tangle for each day within each space, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5, 25 space, you can go over with your pen at this point. But if you are planning on going over, like you say, let's say you're gonna tangle something and this tangle is gonna go beyond this line, you may want to keep this as a pencil line until at the very end. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I did 2 years ago for 2022 Inktober. Like, see, this one has, this tangle is going over, spilling over to the next one. So I had this in a pencil line, so I could spill over and ignore. And like this one, I already have in pen. So when I was going out a little bit, it has to go under this initial star shape. You see that? So this one was a pencil, so I was able to ignore and connect two shapes. Like this one, it's almost contained, but I went outside a little bit, threading under. So this one is threaded under, whereas these ones are going spilling outside. So this is going out, so this one is going over this line. So you can do this if you leave them in pencil, but if you go over with a pen at the beginning, everything have to be threaded underneath. So something to think about, something you may want to decide ahead of the time. Do I want to keep this in pencil and freely go over, or do I want to go over with a pen now and contain each tangle inside each space and perhaps sometimes go under? So it's entirely up to you. I'll think about it, what I want to do, but this is how you use TikTik as a string on Opus style to create 25 spaces. So I hope you understand the two options that I just described, and this is what I decided to do. I didn't record this part so that you don't have to watch me tracing over the pencil lines, but this I traced over the string with silver pen. I used this one. This is a Pentel hybrid dual metallic pen in silver. This comes in gold as well, if you want to do gold, or maybe it comes in other colors, I'm not sure, but this is much more shiny and has a lot more glitter than compared to Sakura Sakura Jelly Roll pen. And I aura around silver lines on both sides, so I have solid lines already in pen. All I did was traced over an aura around. So because I did that, each tangle for next 24 days is going to be contained inside each space, or I have an option to thread under these lines, these strings. So I no longer has an option like I did in Inktober to go over and to go beyond the pencil string. So again, if you want to do this way, you want to leave your string in pencil, and this is what I have for this year, and I will continue to document my progress for Advent Tangle 2024, and I hope you join me in this daily tangle practice. And you can of course use this string for for any other daily tango practice, perhaps your next Inktober or maybe next month's fragments of imagination, or perhaps Valentangle, whatever you decided to do. I hope you have fun, and I will continue to post new videos on YouTube. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit a like button, or leave comment. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Bye now.